fruitful. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right, so
Amen.
at this juncture, thank you. At this juncture, I want us to just have some short remarks from the chair for certification and professional development of IIA Ghana in the person of Mrs. Brenda Mills Papo. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning, Eric, and thank you very much. Good morning to everyone. On behalf of our president and the governing council and the certification and professional development committee, as well as the secretariat, we want to welcome you to this morning's meeting. So over the years, as an institute, we have tried to improve the number of CIAs. And so we have had different initiatives aimed at helping us as members certify, not because we just want to increase the numbers, but we believe that as a lot of us write the certification, it will improve our understanding of the profession and, more importantly, the value that we bring to our stakeholders. And so we are excited that you have shown interest in writing the CIA this year. We are really excited to have you. And as part of our initiative to ensure that we all understand what we want to get into, which route we should take, we decided to have this clinic so that we explain to members who have shown interest in writing the CIA. We are excited to have our immediate past president in the person of Mr. Joseph Sumasike and our former council member, Madame Anas, who will take us through what we are going to do this morning. And it's our hope that by the time we finish, we would have identified which route you want to go. And those who are ready to join the class now, we are excited that you join the class as we start next week. And so on that note, I want to hand over to the secretariat and say you are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brenda. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, like it was shared, we are zooming straight in. We're going to have presentations to cover many of the areas we think that members and participants need clarification, explanation, and information on. Then after, we have questions. I mean, and then if you have any challenges, you've tried it before, you need some help some way, somehow, we are going to try to help our resource persons, Brenda, and then Madam Anas, and then our immediate past president, Mr. Zumasigi. We are all here to help. So with that much ado, I want to invite Madam Anastasia Menyawovo, a seasoned CIA herself and a trainer for many years, to take us through the first part of the clinic. Madam, you are welcome. Madam Anas, maybe you are muted. If you can unmute and then share your screen for us.
I see that Madam Anas is still muted. Can we, I don't know. Madam Anas, if you are on call, you are still muted in case you are speaking. CEO, if you are on call, can you call Madam Anas by phone, maybe? Let's see. Challenge might be having.
Colleagues, I think we're having some slight network challenges at Amanas's end. So I will invite our media past president, Mr. Joseph Zumazigi, maybe to something whilst Anas tries to reorganize her machine. Joseph, are you in a position to kickstart this discussion?
Let me just make a little reference and then come in. So I heard our certification chair talk about the need, the reason why we are pursuing this drive. That's the certification drive. Let me just adjust my surroundings. You are hearing some, you would hear some noise because I'm in the vehicle at the moment. So we would discuss the various paths to acquiring the CIA. I would want to take us through. Now, there are two parts. If Anas had started, she would have set the foundation and I would have followed up on it. But the expectation is that Anas would have taken us through the three-part exam and particularly giving some highlights on the CIA part 1. And for those of us who might have been following the developments, I hope I'm audible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for those of us who might have been following the development in the IIA front, you would notice that there is what was introduced as the non-expiring internal audit practitioner. That's the IAP certification or designation. So as part of just writing your path, your journey to acquiring the full CIA, once you complete the part 1, you are eligible to apply for the IAP. The IAP is not issued automatically. It is issued upon application because when you apply for it, it comes with obligations for you to maintain it. And maintaining it means that there will be minimum educational requirements for you every year and that you would have to make declarations of your ethical standing. So that is why it's not issued automatically, because if it is issued automatically and you've not signed on to commit to these, you can come back arguing that you never signed up to it. So that's why you need to apply for the IAP designation before it will be issued to you. So as part of your journey towards obtaining the CIA, you now have an opportunity to obtain an IAP. What is the value add in this? The IAP used to be an exam on its own. You had to write to be issued or to be, you had to write an exam separately from just the CIA Part 1 in order to be issued the IAP, the Internal Audit Practitioner designation. But in the past, that designation would expire it used to expire within 3 years if you did not proceed to obtain your full CIA qualification. This time around, you can retain your IAP designation so long as you demonstrate that you meet the minimum conditions required for retaining it. So even though we are discussing CIA Part 1, or even though today's discussion is focused on CIA Part 1 and also the challenge exam, we are in effect also discussing the opportunity for members to pursue the IAP so that even in the event that for whatever reason, even though we would encourage that anyone who starts this process should see through the entire certification process, to this full certification. If for any reason you are not able to attain that within a short time, you can have the IAP to demonstrate that you are committed to professionalism, at least to some extent that is measurable and attestable, that can be attested to by the professional body. So these are remarks to set a context within which we're having a discussion today. So that once we discuss your options to pursue the CIA, whether through the unit route or through the challenge exam route, you will then be able to decide whether you would just go through the challenge exam or you would go through the unit route, and also guided by the benefits that you can get from both sides. Eric, if Anas would be able to go through the part one, confirm to me so that I allow her to do that before I continue. And then also I need to be guided. Would you want me to start with the part one slides that I shared, or I should take the challenge exam slides and then allow Anas later on to take the part one slides? I will need to
Hello,
be
Joe.
guided.
Hello, Joe.
Yeah. Yes, Anas.
Yes, I've been able to come on, but I can't still pick the slide. So you start with the part one, please. Start with the part one, yes.
Okay. All right. So
Thank
then
you.
let's shuffle through. I will stabilize myself and shuffle through to pick that. Anas, but you can be talking about the general context. I see that Vijay
Yes.
has his hand up so that we address.
Yes, we can do that. Yes.
Yeah. So, Bless, you may pose your question or what it is you want to inquire about.
That's fine. Thank you so much for the opportunity. With regards to the IEP that you just mentioned about, I wanted to understand the process of applying for it and then how it's going to look like. Thank you.
So you can only apply for the IEP when you have written the part one and passed. So the discussion we're having today about the part one, that's why I said it's relevant for the IAP designation as well, because you would need to write the pass before you then apply for the IAP designation. Without writing the part one, you cannot.
So, Joe, I think what he needs to appreciate is that the part one examination, more or less, will give you the IAP certification.
That's exactly the point.
Please, does that answer you?
Except that
Yes,
even
that's
though you
very
pass,
clear.
you then need to apply.
Yes.
That's very clear. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Right.
And for the application process, once you are registered on the CCMS, when you are eligible to apply for the part one, you would see on your dashboard, you would see a model or a button that allows you to apply for the part one. It will tell you apply for your IAP certificate. So Anas, you may top in
before Anas comes in. Before Anas comes in, please, I just wanted to just give us a bit of context. We will want to go through the presentations. Then after we take questions, please. So whatever question you have, please, let's hold on to it for now. Our key objectives, as has been said, is that we are looking at obviously the three-part exam and then the challenge exam. I'm hearing some people asking if the challenge will be discussed. Yes, I mean the challenge is part of the discussions for today. So just let's all hang on. Let us go through the presentation as has been said. Then we go to question time. Okay, so over to you, Madam Anas.
Okay. So even without able to load the presentation, let me still go through it as it is. Is that okay? Then we'll share it when we are done. Is that okay?
So Anas,
yes.
Will you be okay if I project from here and you speak to it?
Yes.
Okay. So let me can you see my screen?
No, not yet. 1 minute. Who is calling?
Yes, we can see.
Yes. I can see your screen.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay.
Okay. Let me go out of here.
IPP, maybe
Yes,
once Anas is coming on, For the uninitiated, I'm sure there are people here who are new to this. So I would want us to talk about a little about what the CIA certification is, its value, before we go into the exam and the various parts, please. If we can talk about it, what is the certification about for those who are new to this? What value it is? How is it comparable to other certifications? And thereby, please. Thank
So
you.
CEO is good. Thank you for preempting it, but I definitely have that covered under the challenge exam, and I'm sure Madam Nas would have also touched on it. But because he's mentioned it, I will just say briefly before we go into the presentations so that we get the details from there.
That's okay.
So globally, the CIA, the CIA designation is the only globally recognized or acknowledged internal auditing certification or certificate that there is. From across the various continents, that is the only designation that exists for internal audit certifications. You have others that are done at national levels. So if you go to South Africa, you have their national certification, but that is not recognized in any other place apart from South Africa. But the CIA designation is the one that is recognized as the proof of commitment, proof of competence across the globe. Unfortunately or fortunately, it is issued only by the Institute of Internal Auditors. So even for people who are not members of the institute, but who want to demonstrate that level of competence, particularly if their organizations insist, they register and write this exam as non-members, and that's how come you will see the non-member rates. Write as non-members in order to fulfill that this global recognition or to attain this global recognition. And we think that IIA Ghana has had a great say or a great presence in many IIA events and even within the IIA community, not just events, but within the IIA community. And one of the ways to demonstrate that we are not only present, but that we have a high level of commitment, and then we also have people who are highly competent, is for us to have as many people as possible take these certifications and demonstrate that level of competence. So the IAP is also an internationally recognized certification. These things, the good thing about these certifications from the institute is that we deliberate on these at a global level. For those of you who might not be aware, we just returned from the Global Assembly, at which all leaders from around the world met to discuss whether the exam structure, with the exam content, the exam structure, as they are now, as it is now, is all that can be. So another international certification that we discussed at this year's Global Assembly was the CGAP. That's also a certification for those who are into public sector internal audit practice. So it's to tell you that whatever you will acquire here would be as valuable as the same certification that anybody would acquire anywhere in this world. So if you get it and you want to apply for a job in any other jurisdiction, once you put CIA, nobody will question what do you mean by that, or what is the course content for your CIA. Madam Anas, you may fill in if I have left some gaps, please.
Yes, that is right. And when it comes to the CIA, the content is always aligned to the standards in vogue, the standards in use, the global standards. And so a little deviation from the previous syllabus is that the current syllabus has been aligned to the 2024 global internal audit standards. So by the time you finish your CIA, all that you need to know to be able to practice within the current framework is given you in the study of the exam syllabus. That is just what I want to add to it. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Madam Anas. Very much appreciated. So, in that case, Eric, does that meet the basis for us to now roll on?
Yes. So we're gonna roll. Thank you very much.
Okay. So, Madam Anas, you may then proceed.
All right. So when talking about the regular, the 3-part exam, we have the part 1, we have the part 2, and we have the part 3. The part 1 has to do with the fundamental or the fundamentals of internal audit. Now, this topic or this part has A to D sections, so 4 sections. And these sections come with their own topics that you have to study as part of the exam. And then we have the part 2, which deals more with the practice of internal auditing. And then we have the part 3. Now, for the regular, you have to write all 3 parts of the exam and pass before you can get certified. For the processes, once you decide that you want to write the regular, you must meet the eligibility criteria. The minimum requirement for eligibility is a first degree. The first degree requirement is not specific. It can be in accounting, it can be in law, it can be in any relevant area. Once you meet that eligibility criteria, you can register with the IIA. Registration and being a member of the IIA is not mandatory. However, it has benefit for the candidate. Why do we say so? When it comes to payments, candidates have certain leverage or benefits. And so if you are a member, you pay less than a non-member. And that is why we would appreciate it if you register as a member of the IIA. Now, once you do that, and you know that you qualify for member rate, you can start your application. What goes into the application? First, before you begin, you must make sure you scan your certificate and save it on your laptop or PC somewhere. You must also have your photo ID and save that as well. Once you do that, you can log in into the IIA.org and then you go to certification. When you go to certification, you will see the second item there, or the second exam there is the certified internal auditor. So you select the certified internal auditor. Then you scroll down and look for Access CCMS. When you access CCMS, it will take you to another page. And on that page, you have 3 items. Sign in, and then not a member. You can register now, and then change off your password. We will go with the sign in. When you click on the sign in, it will require you to enter your email contact and password. Your email contact should be the contact that you have given to the IIA Ghana. It shouldn't be a different email address. Now, why is it so? Your email address that you use to sign or apply to IIA Ghana is already in the global system. So if you use any other email, you will not be recognized in the system. Once you use that email, it will ask for password. But in the meantime, you do not have that password. So don't put in any password, leave it blank. And then look below the bar. You will see there, cannot access your account. Click here. Kindly click on that one. It will open another form for you, asking you to reset your password. Now, we will use the reset password form to create our password. So complete that form as expected of you. It will ask for your email and any other information, and then you submit. It will tell you you will receive an email notification within 15 minutes, but sometimes it is immediate. So once you submit that one and it is successful, kindly go to your email inbox and look for the mail from customer service. If you don't see the mail, normally it may be in your junk or your spam. So search for it. And if you find it, the email will come with a link. Now you use that link that is supposed to be reset password to create a password. The moment you are able to create the password successfully, you can log out and restart the process. When you restart the process, when you now get to sign in, you can now use the password you have created, and then it will take you into the CCMS. When you get into the CCMS, kindly check on the left side whether your status is accurate or not. You will see IIA member. If it is yes, it will indicate IIA Ghana. If it says no, then it means there is a problem. That is, if you are a member in good standing. If you are not in good standing, it will say no, because then you have been removed from the global system. And you would have to pay your subscription and your records updated, and then we can continue. When you see no, please don't continue, because you will be made to pay a non-member rate. Having said that, for the regular, CIA application is required and you will pay $120. CIA Part 1 is $310. CIA Part 2 is $280. And CIA Part 3 is also $280. Now, when you get into the CCMS, once your status is correct, you can review your profile. After you have reviewed your profile and submitted, it will tell you your update is successful. Then you can review the terms of reference and accept. Once you review the terms of reference and you accept, you can continue with the process and upload your documents. Upload will require you to first upload your academic qualification. So if it is a first degree that you are using, you will enter the information on the certificate, the institution, the dates you passed, maybe the first degree, the date on your certificate, and all that details you will enter. And after you have done that successfully, you will upload the certificate itself. Once that is done successfully, you will close that one. Then you will see the next one will be for you to upload your photo ID. When you upload the photo ID and it is acceptable, it will also show on the screen. Now, acceptable photo IDs include our Ghana card once it is readable or it is legible. Driver license once it is not expired. And then passport once it is not expired.
So please, can you raise the volume? We can't hear.
If you're struggling, may you just quickly log out and log in, because she sounds very audible to me here. I don't know about others.
She sounds very audible here as well. So it could be from his side. Thank you. And then can we use a chat, the chat box? Can we use a chat box to share? To share our thoughts so that we have people monitoring the chat box. We can look at it, your concerns and then address them whilst the business is going on. Thank you so much. Madam Nance, please continue.
Okay, thank you. So the acceptable photo IDs include Ghana card, driver license, and passport. Once you upload and it is successful, you will submit. And then it will move to the next stage, which is your payment. If you are a member in good standing, you should see $120. If you see $240, it means it is a non-member. Once you see your $120, you are to accept. There is a small box. Normally, if you don't watch well, you will skip it. But if you don't check that box, you cannot go forward. So once you check the box, it will move to the next level and then show you the various payment methods. Now here, I want to say that use only the card method. It can be credit card or debit card because the two are put together. Credit card stroke debit card. There is room for you to use check or transfer, but please don't use those ones. Because if you use transfer and there is any challenge, it will take you forever to resolve it. If you use check, that is unacceptable to us in Ghana because it will go through a long process. But if you use the card immediately, you will realize that the money will go out of your account. If you are using the phone update, you see it immediately. And then it also means that they have received your payment immediately. So kindly use the card. It can be MasterCard, it can be Visa, it can be PayPal. Depending on which card you are using, select the appropriate one. And then make sure there is enough money on the card when converted into dollars. Visa has its own rates. If you use the Ghana, let's say the interbank rate, it may not be okay because Visa rate may be higher than our interbank. So make sure there is enough money on your card And once you do that and put in the card details, now it will require you to put in the name on the card exactly the way it is. And after you have put in the name on the card, you put in the card number. Normally, you will see a 16-digit number on your card. That is the number. So you put in the 16 digits without any spacing. Once that is done, you also put in the security code and the expiring date. Please, I can hear voices. Okay.
Emmanuel Edu, please mute.
So once the card details are correct and you submit, immediately your payment will go through. And it will show you that payment is successful. When this is achieved, we now have to wait for Global to approve our application. You have applied for CIA. Give yourself a day or two. Once there is no challenge, your approval will come. And you will still see the approval if you log into the CCMS. It will show application approved. And then the items that you uploaded, the academic qualification, if it is approved, it will show against it approved. If the photo ID is approved, it will show approved. If it is not approved, it will be indicated there. And when you click on it, it will tell you what the problem is. But if all are approved, immediately you will see that you are eligible to write exam. Once you see that you are eligible to write exam, you can now go the next step. And pick your exam. If it is regular, now you are picking the part 1. You pick part 1, register, and then you pay for part 1. If it is after you have done your part 1 is part 2, you select part 2, register, and then you pay for it. If it's part 3, you select register and pay for it. I want to pause here, and if there is any concern, we can work that out before we go to the challenge, please.
Yes, please. I want to ask a question.
Please go ahead.
Last 2 weeks I was registering for the CIA challenge. I don't know whether I can ask that question here. When I got to a point, it was asking for demanding for unexpired certificate, certificate with date. Then it's also asking for member in good standing.
Okay,
So
please. Can you hold on when we get to the challenge? We'll address all that.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other, please?
Madam Nance?
Yes.
So, I mean, you detailed some good, extensive registration process. Where can people, again, just for emphasis, where can people get the CCMS? The CCMS. How do they get access to the CCMS? Website? Or just if you can go over that part for me.
All right. So for you to start your application, kindly go to the IIA Global website. It is www.theiia.org. As in www.theiia.org. When you go to the page, you will see the various, what do you call it? The word is missing, but look for certification. Once you see certification, click on it. And then it will highlight all the items under certification. The second item there is the certified internal auditor. Because this is regular, I am limiting myself to that. Once you click on the certified internal auditor, look down, you will see access CCMS. And then you will also see about CCMS. So all these steps that we have gone through, if you go to about CCMS and you read carefully, you will get all these things there about CCMS. You will see all the information concerning CIA and other certification exams there. But when it comes to registration, we go for Access CCMS, ACCESS, Access CCMS. And then when you click on it, it will take you to the CCMS, where you click on sign in. And then the process that we have gone through already begins.
So, colleagues, Madam Anas, thanks so much for the elaborate, explanation. The CCMS, just so that you can put it in context, it simply means Certification Candidate Management System. So, understand that it's not anything, it's not alien. It's related to the certification we're talking about. And when she said, when you access the website, so the address she gave will take you to the IIA website. And then there are various pages within the website. Even if you can't find certification, go to the search where you can search, the search button, click on the search button, type in certification or even CCMS, and that will come up for you to be able to access the link. Thank you.
In fact, I wanted to use the website to demonstrate, but because I'm not able to pick my file, so I just have to talk to it. Otherwise, we would have gone through it on the screen. But it's simple. Once you get to the website, you will see the various steps that we have enumerated. Thank you.
So, can I ask a
Thank
question, please?
Yes, please.
So, how does one skip the part one or part two to the final part when the person has other certified CPE, IIA exams or conferences that one has participated to receive those certification from IIA Global?
Okay,
Then
so
also
you said
persons with
CPs.
yeah, CPE, then other university MBA programs of our universities in Ghana, then as also the ICA professional certification.
All right. When it comes to the CIA, it's not completely an accounting certification. It is
Yes.
internal audit certification.
Mhm.
And so, like Mr. Zumazigi said in the beginning, CIA is the only globally accepted internal audit certification. Globally. So
Yeah.
throughout the world, when it comes to CIA, it is the same exam. Whether it is in French, it is in Greek, it is in Latin, it is in whatever. It is the same exam that we all write. So CIA has no exemptions. No exemptions. So even if I have my first degree, my second degree, my PhD, I will still write the CIA. Even if I'm a chartered accountant, I'm a lawyer, I'm a medical doctor, I will still write the CIA. And that is why the chartered accountants, the CISA holders, have been given a new pathway, which we'll soon come to, which is the challenge. But for now, let's finish with the regular. Thank you.
No, you haven't answered the first part. I asked that
Okay.
persons with the CPE that has been organized by Global Audit, like IIA Global or Scala, or the CIA, and the person has CPE
Yes.
certificate, does that person, because one have gone through governance, risk, compliance, governance, risk, and control, and fraud. You've done this thing with them in US and any other France, and you have a certificate to prove that. Is it that that part can be considered to move you to the next part 2 or part whatever?
Thank you. But then again, when you have done all these CPEs, the only way you can convert it into CIA is writing the CIA exam, which will also test that knowledge, and then you prove it within the exam that you have that knowledge.
Fantastic.
The CPEs will only become relevant to the CIA certification holder when you have
Okay.
already certified.
Mhm.
When you certify on an annual basis, you are to report your CPEs. So after
Fantastic.
certification, these CPEs will become relevant every year. And you cannot
Okay.
bring the one you did last 3 years to this year or last year. It is annually. So what you did this year is relevant for CPE reporting this year. And for CIA
Okay.
holders, you are reporting 40 credits every year.
Oh, I see.
And your CIA this year you will not report because it covers this year. Subsequent years, you report 40 CPE every year. So then when you attend these conferences, when you do these CPEs, the certificates become relevant for you to report your CPE. I guess I have answered the question.
Yes. Yes. Fantastic.
And,
I'm
and,
Thank
and
you.
grateful.
let me just also add, thank you so much. Let me
Hello.
just add the other detail that
Hello.
out of the 40, at least 2 of those hours should be in ethics.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hello, madam.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, oh, yes, please.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Hello. Good morning. Sorry, I wanted to ask a very simple question.
Okay.
Do you have somebody in the IIA who helps during the registration exercise? Because it looks like though some of these things they are quite technical. That's why you guys are running us through the registration process. So do you have
All
somebody
right.
in the IIA who might help the person to do the registration online so that it doesn't become the one you want to register?
All right. So in the course of your application or registration, if you have any challenge, I think my contact is on the flyer. Just call me. Even last week, at least I worked with 3 candidates.
Madam, which one is your contact?
Anastasia.
Okay.
Is it on the flyer?
Yes.
Don't worry. So we're gonna type at the on the chat box. Yes, reach out to we're gonna share the contacts so that everybody can get it. But reach out to the secretariat and you'll be helped as much as possible, and we can also link you with Anastasia as well. So yes, we can help. We can help you to register, but we cannot help you to pay. In sense that we are not going to pay on your behalf. You in helping you. The last point of payment, you will need to use your card. We'll need to help you with your card, but not IIA receiving money to make payment on your behalf. All right, but we can help you with the registration.
When you say the last part of the payment, are we paying with Visa card or what? Are we paying with the Visa account, the global Visa account?
Yes. We are paying. Yeah, we are paying to global. Yes,
No, so are we paying
we are
into
paying
the
to global.
account, the account that you are going to share with us that we can pay the money with you?
Okay, Eric, let me take that. So when it gets to the payments, you will see the requirements on your screen in the CCMS. It will require you to put in your card details And it is going straight to global. It doesn't go to IIA Ghana. It's going straight to global. It's not going to IIA Ghana. Please, does that help? Hello? Please, have you been answered? Is the answer what you expected?
Madam Anas, I think we can
We
make
should go on.
progress. If there is any clarification, we can take it again. Much as we have taken ourselves through the registration process, I must, however, state that if you read your examination candidate's handbook and you go through and you read about the CCMS, as Anas indicated, as internal auditors or people who have reached this level, I can bet you that you can go through that process without the need of secretariat. It's just that if you read and you follow the steps, you'll be able to complete the process without needing a third person. Just that sometimes we get very busy and it's easier when we are assisted by another person. But I can say that if you read it, you should be able to do that by yourselves. Thank you very much. And Madam Anas, I see somebody indicate that the courses they take at I think Ghana Banking College, can they present those? You may want to look at the chat and then see if you want to address that.
Yeah, but his question was in the area of exemption.
No, this is, please, I would like to find out whether training courses completed at the Ghana National Banking College can be submitted to meet the CIA CPE requirements.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll check that. We'll check
Yes,
that.
so long as they are relevant to your area of work, you can submit them to meet the CPE requirements. That is, after you've gotten your CIA and you need to declare annually that you've met CPE requirements.
However, the certificate must indicate the hours and how many CPs it is awarded.
Exactly.
If it is not awarded, then it cannot be used as CPE certificate. But
Very
once
much
it is awarded CPE, it can be used as such. Okay. All right.
Okay, thank you. So before you go on, please, two questions. One for you and then one for Joseph.
Okay.
I want Joseph to talk about the materials for the examination and then the cost implications. Then I wanted to ask you to also talk about the course content in the part one, so that we can with that we can move on to the challenge. So Joseph, what materials are available to take the exam? What are the cost implications? What kind of materials are there? There, and then also then after that, Anas, you come and give us the breakdown of the cost content for the part one. Thank you.
Eric, are we talking about materials for the different kinds of examination, or are we talking about the part one as we did?
Well, I was trying to do the part one, even though obviously the same materials are used, but I wanted you to specifically talk to the part one and then see the cost implications, and then also before we go to a challenge.
So, colleagues, as far as the exam in parts is concerned, we have different study material providers. Some of you might have been familiar with GLEM. In the past, we used to deal, the CIA, the IIA itself used to produce its own learning system. But for the purposes of the times now that we're discussing, that responsibility of providing the learning system has been shifted to Becker. The Institute has entered into a partnership with Becker. Becker is a distributor of professional studies materials. And we have signed on, we have a memorandum of understanding with Global, and we are to use the Becker study material. We've also been able to get Becker to give us discounts on this study system. I say study system because it's not just a book. You sign on, you have access to the books, and you have access to other supplementary learning aids. In instances, depending on which package you pick, you can actually have access to videos that are available, videos that are created and availed through their learning system to guide you through your learning process. So it is a continuum. If you were to go directly to Becca to sign up with them, you will be paying a lot more to them. In the case of the challenge exam, for instance, you would be paying almost close to double what you'll be paying half if you were to go through the the memorandum that we have with Becca. But if you were to go individually to Becca, you'd have been paying about double what you will be paying through the going through our memorandum of understanding with Becca. The other alternative would be for you to get the study guide from other service providers or study services providers. For those ones, I'm not very familiar with what categories of services they would provide you. And I say I'm not familiar because I've not invested the time to learn about that, because I concentrated on the memorandum that we had with Becca, which we want to execute in a way that benefits our members. So you would, after you have registered for the exam, you can get a study material from Becca, or you can get a particular study package with Becca to cover your part one, if it is a part one you take it. I would have liked to talk about the services available under the challenge. So maybe when I do take my presentation through the challenge, I will talk about the study arrangement that we have with Becca on that one. I see that Bless has his hand up. Bless.
Yes, please. Thank you for the clarity. Wanted to find out, some of us have already signed out to Hawk International and not on Becca. In that regards, does it still make it relevant?
Hawk International is a recognized study content and material provider. It's one of the recognized ones. All of these are recognized by the IIA as what do you call them? There's a term I want to use. They are recognized service
They are
providers.
all certified providers.
They are certified providers. What they give you, the II is gone through the psychometric assessment and confirmed to be relevant to the study, to the exams. So it's not that they are not being discounted. They are not being shown not to be relevant or not to be helpful. It just so happens that the terms that the institute is able to get with Becca tends to be the one that appeals more to the institute. So if you are using Hawk, I don't think that there should be a problem with that. The only thing is that when we are doing classes and we're making references, you may notice a bit of differences by way of details here and there. But the course content, it would cover everything. Yes, Christian.
Yes, sir. Please, I just want to find out whether Becca, their subscription expires or is unlimited. Thank you.
It's not unlimited. I think it's so it depends. For challenge exams like this, it's up to 18 months. And of course, challenge exams, it makes sense because they open you for an exam window. And again, the 18 months, but within the 18 months, you would have exceeded your challenge exam window. The unit one, I think it has an expiry date. Let me just access my.
I can help you. So now it is 18 months, and then now they've started rolling out unlimited. Is it for the challenge?
So the unlimited will be the higher band. Yes, unlimited is within the highest band. Yeah.
Yes. So
if you choose the highest band, you have unlimited.
So for the challenge, you pay $560 for the challenge. If you want the unlimited bundle. But if you are doing the 18 months, which is more as acceptable, it is $365 for the challenge exam. For the part one, the essential, which is the basic one, is $250. So that is for the part one. Becca goes for $250, which is almost 50% discount from what is sold to people who are not IIA Ghana members. So that is a little clarity on that. Thank you.
Okay, Eric.
Yes,
Madam
Yes.
Anas.
Yes.
Madam Anas, there is a question. How often is the exam window open? Yearly?
Yes, the exam window is opened yearly, but we don't have control over that. That control is with Global. So for the past 3 years, the window has been opened in April and closed in September. So from
that's only for challenge exam.
Oh, you are not asking for challenge.
The question is open. Is how
Oh,
often?
as for regular, there is no window. For regular, there is no window. Anytime within the year, you can apply for CIA regular. Anytime within the year. And then the exam too, it is only within the span of 180 days from the day you register. That's the only restriction. So once you register today, within 6 months or within 180 days, you should schedule and write your exam. But then when it comes to when you can apply, when you can register, no, there is no window. It is open. Please, have I answered the question?
Well, the question was posted on the page, so we are expecting that the response will come on it.
Very well answered, madam. Thank you very much.
Any exam center option.
Please. Good
please
morning.
Hold on. Kindly hold on. Let's take questions that are posted. We'll get back to you, please. And raise your hand so that we can have some order. Madam Anas, there's a question. Any exam center options?
Yes, please. Currently, we are using 2 exam centers. We have the Linear Assessment Center, which is on the 4th floor of Total House, opposite British Council. And then we have a second one at Adabraka. Between Circle and Adabraka, you have the... What's the name? Hello.
Yeah, Madam Chair, Madam
So
Anas,
when you are
you.
doing your scheduling, you will see the centers, and then you will select one of these 2. IPMC or linear assessment. Recently, I saw a window in Kumasi, but we have not tested it. We have not visited, so we can't speak to it. We will have to verify that before we can confirm it. But for now, in Accra, we have 2 centers. Linear assessment on the 4th floor of Total House, and then IPMC at Adabraka.
Okay. I've seen that Emmanuel Edu has posted a question, but we'll first take Vija Bless's question.
Okay.
Thank you once again for the opportunity. So if I listen very well, Madam Anas mentioned that you have 180 days to sit for the exam after registration. But I also want to find out about the minimum days. So can you just register today and sit for it maybe a week after or even below that? I wanted to find out that clarity. Thank you.
When you apply for and pay for your exam, when you go to the person VUE to schedule, once you are able to get the date to schedule, you can write on that date. If let's say you applied today, you have made your payment, and then tomorrow morning you go to Pearson VUE on the same page from the CCMS, you click on Pearson VUE, the window opens, and you see that your pre-approved exam is there. If you, let's say, choose next week, tomorrow is what, 13. So you choose maybe 18. No. It should be a weekday. So 13, let's say 16th. If you choose 16th and it's available to you and you are able to schedule, on that day you go and write your exam. But if you chose that day and it's not open, then it's not available.
Thank you so
Again,
much.
when you are doing the scheduling, you realize that some of the days will be grayed out. Those days are not available. It is only the ones that when you click the open app that are available. And so when you register for exam, we will also advise that you schedule in good time. Don't wait until maybe 2 weeks you want to write the exam before you schedule. No, schedule early ahead of time and work towards it. That way, the date that you want will be available to you. All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Anas, for that clarification. And then for those who are going to do challenge exam, the unique thing about a challenge exam is that you have a registration period, which is different from a period within which you can take exams. So the registration starts April, but then they will tell you that examination starts from September through to December. So that is the window within which you can write the exam. But your registration can start from September, and maybe even in September, you can still register. But when you register in September, as Madam Anas then explained, so long as your registration is within the examination open period, you can go ahead and schedule your exam. But if you register in April, as is the case now, whilst your examination window is from September, then when you are scheduling, your exams can only be taken in September. You cannot take the exams earlier than September. The challenge exam is treated that one is more rigidly controlled by way of timing and all of that. Unlike the unit exams or the parts exams, which you can register at any time, and also schedule your exams at any available date. Thank you. I noticed that Christian Lucky Nujo, your hand has been up. You may have
sir.
your turn.
Thank you, sir. Please, my question is, as the exam is a self-placed exam, so after writing one part, for example, you write part 1, how long does it take you to register for the next part?
You can actually register for all the parts at a go.
Where are you?
You can register for all the parts at a go, but just make sure that you write one, that you write the 1, write the 2, and write the 3. If you think you've studied and you are good to go with all 3 parts, you can register for them. But you first have to register for the part 1 to be able to register for the part 2 and then be able to register for the part 3.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. I've seen some people are asking about the link. For the link to access, before we leave here, first and foremost, I'm sure I've seen Secretariat post some links. So I'm sure your questions may be addressed whilst this discussion is going on. And also we'll take note of the questions so that when we are done, we will make sure that we send you a pack that includes all the links that you've requested. But as I said, if you were even to just go to the website, the Institute's website, you can locate some of these links that you're asking for. There is a question as to, just a second, I was looking at it, but it vanished. So Secretariat is already encouraging you to download some documents. My only worry is that you may then get distracted and would have to go over the same matter over and over as you are going through the website. Please, what is the link to register that will be provided? Can we take the exam online too? As Madam Anas indicated, you will take the exam at an exam center. It is an online exam, but it is at an exam center that is for now is overseen by Pearson VUE. So you will be invigilated whilst you are writing it online. The time where you could take a proctor exam, sit at your own location, designated location, and take the exam. We can no longer do that. We no longer allow that now. You can no longer take a proctored exam from your own location. You have to go to the exam center. Dennis, you have your hand up, please.
Okay, sir. I'm very grateful. I just wanted to get clarity on this. So if I'm able to register within the registration period, which is from April to September, let's say I registered in September, will I be able to write the exams in maybe I get scheduled in December? Can I write the exams within that period?
Yes, if it is a challenge exam and you register in September, you will be able to schedule your exams from any time from September, once the exam window is open, anytime from September, beginning of open exam window open to close of exam window open. Your only challenge may be that because everybody is then registering, might have been scheduling their exams, it depends on the availability of space at the exam center. That's a challenge you'll be contending with.
Okay, Joe.
Yeah, Madam Anas.
So let me add a little to that. I think his question has something more. The exam window is from September to February the following year. However, you can write in September, you can write in November, and you can write in February. You can write in September, you can write in November, and you can write in February.
You are right. Because they've left out some of the other months. Some of them are closed.
So it is not every month.
It's not every month. Other candidates need to also get a chance to write exams. If they allow only challenge candidates, you clog out the exam system.
So challenge September, November, and February.
Thank you very much, Madam.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Nance, and then Joseph. Thank you. Because of time, we would be grateful if we move on to the challenge specifically now, because there are some members who are here just for the challenge, so that I want us to now focus on the challenge, the course content, and all that. Then we come back to the question time, so that at least we have a balance. Listen, thank you very much.
Guided CEO, but Dennis's hand has been up. Can we take his question, address it briefly, and then move on?
Sorry, I was the one who came in right now. Sorry, let me know why.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, so Sean, over to you.
I'm trying to share my screen. As soon as it becomes visible, let me know.
Yeah, it's showing.
Okay, great. So we will just run through what the challenge exam covers. Now, why the challenge exam? The intention is to give you an opportunity to fast track the process to getting the CIA designation. And we've already indicated how it is the only globally recognized internal audit certification. But you do this by setting a single exam. Of course, single exam within restricted conditions. The content that we are looking at is the syllabus that is effective for June 2026. So if you happen to have taken the challenge exam before and this looks a bit different from what we are discussing, bear with us. It's because the syllabus has changed. And as Madam Anas mentioned earlier, this syllabus is aligned to the 2024 Global Internal Audit Standards. And of course, the certification and exam is offered only by the IIA. Now, I'm not going to belabor this. It's important for us to note that globally, we have over 200,000 CIA certification holders. You would find the exam offered in 170 plus countries. Then, as we indicated, the current content that we're discussing is that which focuses on the 2024 Global Internal Audit Standards. This particular route to the certification is different from the three-part exam route that you could do and take the exams over, spread the exams over the period that is comfortable to you. But it's important for us to note that it doesn't necessarily mean that the challenge exam is the easiest. It just gives you an option. It's not seeking to dilute the strength of the certification. It does not mean that therefore means that whether you get a CIA through the challenge exam or through the part route, your CIA's designation remains the same. It is held at the same value. Now, who are those that are eligible for the CIA challenge exam? We used to have two routes through which you could become eligible for the CIA challenge exam. The accounting experts or professionals route, and this one was availed to countries that usually would have their accountants going by the CPA or CA designations. And even those, such accounting bodies have to write or they have to take an assessment with the IIA, and when they are adjudged to have had the content that is of good quality, then they are authorized or approved. Their members are approved to take the CIA challenge exam. So IIA Ghana, we tried earlier in past times, did not succeed until 2 years ago when we did, and were approved for CAs in Ghana to write the CIA challenge exam. That approval has been extended into this year, and that is why we want members to take advantage of it. It is not automatic. The fact that an accounting professional body has been approved for CIA challenge exam does not mean that forever that approval stands. That is to be assessed from time to time and a decision made on it. So that list of approved accounting bodies keeps changing from time to time. And as national institutes, we have to liaise with the accounting body here to keep this opportunity open into the upcoming years. The other route is the information systems auditor opportunity. For those who are holding CISA, the CISA for qualification, they are also eligible to register for and write the CIA challenge exams. Now, the third route, which is in pilot, this is being piloted, I must emphasize, and it's just being piloted this year. It is for the professional route. This is for people who have been in internal audit practice for over 10 years, or internal audit or related field for over 10 years. So at least we're talking about you having 10 years experience in a related field. You can register. This is a novelty. So as we're speaking, when getting to the end, I might point out some of the things that those of us that want to use this opportunity might have to abreast ourselves of, or might have to prepare ourselves in as we are using this route. Now, as for the note is really, it's not relevant to us. So what is this? What does this exam entail? You have a one sitting of a multiple choice exam, which is the examination is a computer-based exam. You would answer 150 questions within 180 minutes. That's 3 hours. and your scaled score is 600 maximum, and you need to pass between within the range of 250 to 750. Now, when we say scaled, what happens is that the exam questions you will meet, they are weighed differently. So you may answer one question that could give you points, a score of, let's say, 5, and then another question that can give you a score of 10, because the questions are weighed. They are not of the same weight. The fact that you answer, let's say, 50% correct does not necessarily mean that you're going to get 50% of the weight score, because the questions can be different weights. This is something you need to be very mindful of. What does this cover? The challenge exam covers 5 domains: internal audit, professionalism, and quality. And that one, the weight it comes with is 20%. So this one gives you 20%, first and foremost, the total weight of the exam, the questions, their quality, their weight. Internal audit operations and audit plan, 15%. Engagement performance, 25%. So you have to, if you have not been in practice, if you've not been performing engagements, you may need to commit a lot more time to this section or this domain if you are writing the challenge exam. Engagement results and monitoring, 20%. So it's not to say you should downplay, for instance, internal audit operations and audit plan. It's not to say you should downplay it. But given your experience, you can tell the areas where you are strong and where you are weak, so that if they have a heavy weight here, you would have to up your game in your preparation towards the exams as far as those domains are concerned. What do we mean by internal audit professionalism and quality? So the internal audit mandate, that's authority, role, responsibilities, and internal audit functions of the internal audit functions, the roles and responsibilities of the board, those of the chief audit executive. You should be familiar with these. The 3 lines model. You have to be familiar with the 3 lines model and how that relates to the work of the internal audit function. And for those of you who may be interested, just this week, the Institute issued 2 statements, position statements, on one on the 3 lines model, and the other one on the internal audit functions role in enterprise risk management, where it is that statement that emphasizes the kind of safeguards that internal audit functions would have, practitioners would have to put in place if they are required to play second line roles. Confidentiality, using information appropriately and protecting privacy and ownership. This will be tested. Conformance, disclosing non-conformance with the global internal audit standards. All of this is part of the professionalism and quality. So independence, objectivity, quality assurance, and improvement. So you will notice that confidentiality, conformance, independence, objectivity, and quality and objectivity. These ones relate very much to your domain 2. Quality assurance and improvement, that would also be tested as part of the professionalism and quality. And performance metrics. Of course, we say that quality is not just limited to conformance, but it's also limited to performance. And that is why performance metrics are going to be tested as part of the issue of quality. Internal audit operations and audit plan. So managing the internal audit operations, the internal audit strategy, sources of engagement. That is, we're talking about your audit universe, the laws and mandates, the markets, and then emerging tech trends. Coordinating assurance, resource management, stakeholder relationships, and risk-based audit plan. This is another domain that is going to be tested. Engagement planning, you know that is one of the domains, but what does that mean? We're talking about your objectives and scope for your audits. And then in doing this, you need to pay attention to the role that topical requirements and then the practice guides play in doing these. Assessing risks and controls, fraud, detailed risk assessment, evaluation criteria. That's where you're identifying relevant, practical, and reliable criteria for your reviews. Business process risk. This is talking about the various business processes that we have and the risks that pertain to them. Engagement approach. How would you carry out your engagements? Are you going to use agile method? Would you go the traditional snail pace, a waterfall approach? Or are you going to do an integrated? And then also, now that we're talking about work from home, the issue of remote auditing. And then the concept of project management would be assessed. Work program and resources. All of that is going to be assessed under the domain of engagement planning. Then engagement performance. As you're carrying out your audit, what are the sources of information? We usually will talk about, sources of information. We talk about how you establish, how you obtain evidence. So you can do interviews, you can do observations, you can do walkthroughs, you can do data analysis, and then you can also look at documents that are available. Technology. And this is one key thing that as internal auditors, I would say that in the exams, this area of IT is usually heavily tested. Analytical reviews, ratios, variances, trends, benchmarking, work papers and conclusions, quality of evidence, how you evaluate the relevance of the evidence, its sufficiency, and its reliability. Analysis and process mapping. So here we're talking about your workflow segments, your responsibility, accountability, what do you call that? Consulting, the need to whom you consult and whom you inform, as far all those messages, your RASI matrix that you would have to establish in doing your analysis. What kind of data types are you going to be dealing with, and what data analytics would you be conducting? All of that will be assessed here. Findings and significance, where you are comparing your conditions to the criteria, establishing the root causes, and then appraising their significance so that you can proffer relevant recommendations. Supervision and communication has got to do with the review responsibilities and stakeholder communication that has to take place during your engagement, the performance of your engagement. This is what is going to also be tested under engagement performance. Then we move to domain E, which has to do with engagement results and monitoring. Effective communication. What are the elements for effective communication? I'm sure we are familiar with these things as practitioners. Accuracy, objectivity, clarity, conciseness, constructiveness, completeness, and then timeliness. Recommendations and action plans. What are the cost benefits that you do before you settle on a particular recommendation? Are there disagreements with your recommendations or with your finding? Is management disagreeing with them? What are the root causes? And your recommendations, are they addressing root causes? And even for the disagreement, what could be the cause for that disagreement on the part of management? The issue of residual risks. After you've established your inherent risk and you factored in controls, what are the residual risks that have to be dealt with? Monitoring and follow-ups. The usual monitorings that we do, which feed into for Ghana, the audit committee's annual reports, those in public sector. Audit reports, objectivity, scope, conclusions, recommendations, and action plans. Closing communication. What exit conference? How do you conduct your exit conference? What are the areas of focus during the exit conference? And what are the reporting protocols that are established? Then risk acceptance. So once you've had your residual risk, to what extent are risks accepted? Or even when you've done your risk evaluation, your risk assessment, to what extent can risks be accepted? Do you agree with management that they accept the risks if they say they want to accept them? Do you disagree with them? Why? This is an area this is part of the test that you would have to take. And then escalation, in the event that you need to bring certain things to the attention of maybe higher bodies, whether it is the audit committee or it is the board, what should be the escalation process? This would be tested under the domain E. Basically, that is what the challenge exam covers. And as part of your unit, I mean, as part of your three-part exams, you will cover all of these things too. You will cover all of these things. The only thing is that the level to which they are tested varies, because here you are being tested at a higher level of proficiency because you are combining both parts 1, 2, and 3. What then happens? How do we get to prepare ourselves for this exam? You will need to study the Global Internal Audit Standards. It's important for you, as I indicated earlier, that in your preparation, you may need to prioritize engagement performance because it carries 20%. And even the other ones that carry it carries 25% of the weight. Even for the others, that you also have the 3 other domains that carry 20%, and that's a lot. So 25, 20, 20, 20, that is already 85%. If for those 4 areas, you do not commit a lot of time covering them and being very comfortable addressing any questions that arise from those domains, it might be difficult. You may do very well in the other one that is just 15%, but you will not pass. It is important for you to use a review provider and question banks to practice some mock exams so that you can build stamina. It is also important that you practice the 150 scenario-based questions in 180 minutes. Time yourself. Allocate 72 seconds to every question. 72 seconds at the maximum to every question on the average, so that you can complete the exam within the scheduled time. It is important for you to master the topical requirements. And so far, I think we have a topical requirement on cybersecurity. We have a topical requirement on organizational resilience. We have a topical requirement on on third-party risks. There is a topical requirement that is open for comments at the moment, and I think that has to do with organizational culture. So you need to be very familiar with these. And the caution for this is that if you memorize, you will not pass this exam. I'm sorry. If you just want to rely on recall alone, memorizing definitions and other things, that is not enough for you to pass this exam. What you need is the ability to apply. You should be able to demonstrate good understanding of the material or the knowledge. You should be able to demonstrate that you can apply that within varied circumstances. Why? Because if it is the standards are principles based. What it means is that particular situations may present you with different treatments or applications for those standards. So it's important that we have this in mind. As to your registration process, the same CCMS registration process that Anas took us through, that elaborate process, it is the same process you will follow.
Won't you sweep the room? What time will you sweep? It's almost 12 o'clock. What time will you sweep the room?
Can somebody help me by
Can we mute?
muting this gentleman? It's the same CCMS registration process that you will follow. So you don't lose. All the earlier discussion we had is the same. What is going to happen, however, is that after you are done registering with CCMS, you will now opt for the CIA challenge exam. I heard somebody ask that he tried registering and he was asked to load his certificate. Yes, you say you are a member of an accounting body. an approved accounting body. You will have to load your certificate from that accounting body. So if you were from ACCA, for instance, you would have to upload your ACCA certificate. If you were to be from ICAG, you have to load your ICAG certificate. When you've uploaded your ICAG certificate, you also need to upload a letter or a proof of being in good standing. And we all know that if you've not paid your ICCA subscriptions for the year, as of now, you would be deemed not to be in good standing. So the Institute does not want to encourage people who do not maintain their subscriptions with their professional bodies. So you would need to get an attestation that confirms that you're in good standing. So if it is from ICAG, you would need to upload that. When you have done that, you will get a guide, a study guide, but it might not be detailed enough for you. I mean, when you've done that and so first you have to apply, you pay an application fee. The same application fee that, the application fee is a fee that actually goes to the CMS because it's a third party platform. Then the registration fee is the one that goes to the Institute. But that registration fee, you will still pay it through the CCMS payment process. And for for the CIA Challenge exam, I'm just trying to pull down. The exam fee is 845. So the application fee is 150 USD. CEO has it increased 150 USD for members and 380 for non-members. The exam fee 845 USD for IIA members, and then for non-members 1,245 USD. That is for the CIA Challenge exam. Now, when you have done this, we still have the Becker study partnership package. You can go for the basic, which CIA gave the price for, so that you can be guided. But if you don't want to do all of that, if you don't want to go for Becker one, you may just limit yourself to the study guide from the Institute. But that study guide, the level of detail is the problem. And that is why we encourage people to enroll onto the Becker system too, so that you can have all the material and support, all the basic and support materials that you need to prepare for the exam. We, at our level, Institute level, I'm sure, I know that the certification committee is putting a program together for us to offer other supplementary support to all examination candidates, whether you are doing the unit, you are coming through the unit route, or you're coming through the challenge exam route. I have seen some comments. I would want to access them and see what questions have been posed. So kindly give me a few seconds to do that. Ooh. Please note that no. I said we didn't get these details on the regular exam. Is it on the agenda? Unfortunately, I don't know what details you're referring to, so you may want to clarify. Please, per records, what is the passing rate for both the regular and the challenge, to have an idea on how serious to... Okay, I get you. So the pass rate is between 40, the average is between 40 and 50% for the challenge exam.
Yeah. Hey,
Please,
Mr. Zubazigi,
Yes, please.
who is citing you, please?
Please say it again.
It's the way they ask the pass rate. I'm saying it's between 40 and 50%. It's not above 50% for the challenge exam.
Joe,
Yes, ma'am.
I think we if we give percentage, people will be looking at percentage in terms of studying as well, because the pass rate will come in the form of the raw score.
Exactly.
600 out of 750.
Oh, is that the one he's talking about? I was thinking of maybe he meant. Okay, my thought was out of candidates who take the exam, how many of them pass?
No,
Okay. So you
unless
need,
maybe I am wrong.
yeah, you need a minimum of 600.
Out
The
of
total
750.
out of 750, you can score 750, but you need to get 600. And when you get 600, they'll say pass. So if you don't pass, they'll give you what your score was. They'll give you your what your score was out of the 700. So if let's say you got 578.
No, and 98
598, yeah. I think
is
that was
failed
my first sitting. I got 598.
and is
And
failed.
yes, and I had failed. They didn't give me the 2 for me to pass. So I had to go back in less than a month. No, in less than 2 months.
60 days.
Yeah, I went back in less than 2 months because I was angry. I knew that I needed to pass. So I went back in less than 2 months and I claimed my 2 marks back. So that is what. So actually, you realize that 600 out of 750 is no child's play. And here is us saying that the exam questions are weighed differently. So you may have to answer them. You have to prepare to be able to answer every question that comes in the exam. That's why you need a high level of proficiency. It means in preparation, you just have to commit yourself to it for a period. I mean, within this period of 6 months, the period of 6 months that you would want to take the exam, you will need to commit yourself to it. I still see that there are some 2 comments. Let me go there and see. Oh, when you say a pass, 80% pass mark, in fact, you can be confused if you're talking about 80%. You can get 80% of the questions correct and yet not pass because the questions are weighed differently. So it's important to understand that it is about 80% of the weight of the exam. So how many attempts are required for challenge? Within every sitting period, I am not sure that they have limited the number of attempts. But if you can sit in September, sit in November, and sit in February, what it tells you is that if you don't get it, you should be able to register for a receipt. And it comes at a fee. There's a receipt fee. It is rebated. It's not the same. It's lower than the initial amount that you pay.
It's about $540. About.
Exactly. It's rebated from 800 plus to 540. So you can do a receipt. CEO, let's find out this should be, take this question and let's do a follow-up with Global on whether somebody can receipt more than once. So if you were to write in September, what I'm just processing based on this question is if I were to write in September and I did not get it, God forbid, and I wanted to receipt and I could get a receipt in November. If I did not get it, can I do a receipt in February? In that case, you realize that you may be able to do a receipt of two receipts, making it a total of 3 attempts. But I will do a follow-up on this and give you supplementary confirmation.
Okay, so Joe.
Yes, please.
So far, there is no restriction.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We are not aware of a restriction, but whether it's permissible.
However, if you don't make it, you have to wait for 30 days before you can re-register.
And the
again,
good thing is that because they give the interlinking months as a non-exam month, that makes it more flexible.
yeah. But then again, the problem that those who sat last year had was that because this year the syllabus has changed,
Yeah.
then they have to get new material and pay for it. And they have to start learning new things to be able to prepare for the receipt. So then it becomes more difficult for them. So the
But at
best
least
is to put in the best and pass the first time.
the good thing for those this year is that they are using this new material. So
Exactly.
yeah. And the good thing is if you schedule your exams early in the examination window, then it gives you room to do the receipt in the event that you don't make it. But if you push your exam to the last sitting month, that constrains you. So I will encourage that you don't push your exam to the last sitting month. Schedule them for the earlier months so that you have some window to take a decision as to what happens next after your first sitting. Wait a second. Let me just pick. Please, how can one access the Becker study material? So we will discuss if you are once you are committed to the exam, we discuss the Becker study material after today's clinic. We left with about 9 minutes to go, and I wouldn't want us to. Can we break down the pass mark into percentages per each domain? I don't quite get that. What we just be guided that the weight of the exams is broken down into various percentages within the domains that are specified, so that when you are studying, you should allocate your study time and effort according to the weights of the domains. That's the advice I will give on that. Please, is there going to be classes for part 1? Yes, we are trying to get as many people. If we can get a very substantial number, we can organize special. I mean, the institute. Let me not speak for the institute. CEO, if you are here, what do you have to say on the classes for part 1? I don't want to commit the institute. But what I know is that the institute is working at having special classes sessions for part 1 candidates, depending on how many of them we get, how many of you we get. If the number is not much, we would have no choice but to let you arrange flexible times with Madam Anas, as we've been doing. If we get a good number, we'll still bring in Madam Anas and support her with other hands so that we can support the cohort that we'll be preparing for the part 1. That's what I can say regarding the classes for part 1. Oh, CEO, you are here.
Yes.
And you are
so yes, we intend to run part 1 classes and also the CI challenge classes. Like Joseph said, we are looking at the numbers so that it becomes feasible. So what we'll do is that we have put our contact numbers right in the chat box. Please, either you send us an email to say that you want to register for the part 1 and or you want to register for the challenge. The invoice, we'll send you an invoice. Normally we run on Saturdays. So Saturdays, we agree on the time between either 9 to 12 or 9 to 1, depending on how the facilitators will be. I mean, who are willing to take the class. So yes, it's going to happen. We are hoping to start with either next week or the week after. But it's we need to get some good numbers and then people to pay so that we can start the classes as soon as possible. So, like I said again, our contact is on the chat box. Office at iighana.com.gh, or there are some numbers there. You can send us a WhatsApp or give us a text, your name, your details. We will share with you an invoice. We are not too sure about the price as of today, but it's either going to be 2,000 CDs for the challenge exam, and then between 1,006 to 1,009 for the part one. We'll confirm to you directly by the time we finish, but we are going to run either 6 weeks, 7 weeks of Saturday trainings for the people, those who are interested, and we are going to run concurrently. The challenge exam is going to have its class. The part one is going to have its class. Thank you. So you can go on, Chairman, from here.
I spoke to
Okay,
Richard.
thank you. Basio, before you go, there is a question. Are there scholarship packages for potential challenge candidates?
Unfortunately, currently, no, but it is something that IIA is exploring with other. I mean, we're exploring. We want to look at getting institutions to support people who are writing, but currently we don't have a scholarship package yet. But it is something that we are thinking about, and in the near future, I believe something will happen. Thank you.
What about classes for challenge, especially if you have booked your exam for September? That's another
Yeah.
question from Kwedu Felicity.
Okay.
Blanks and
Yes.
Felicity.
So I believe that just register, like I said, and then we would we'll start the classes as soon as we get a good number. But I can say that we are still going to support. I mean, whoever you are, if you are writing in September, if you reach out to us, we can discuss some things and then see how we can factor in some form of support for you to be able to be ready enough for the September window. Thank you.
Somebody asked about the tuition. You've already said that you're going to communicate that later on, so we'll not be labored. Are the classes online or yes? As far as I know, so far we've done them online, but the special arrangements that institute is going to do, I am not too sure. Can payments be made in installment?
Well, we've explored that angle. Payments for the online classes. We are not too sure because we've tried this before, and sometimes people are not too they don't honor their word and all that. So sometimes we have to make the money available before we take the class. But for the CIA registration and those things, they are not done in installments. Those ones you have to pay at a go. Reach out to us, like I said. We will talk behind the scene, but we are not saying that installment packages are available. But we are open to help and support as many as people that can that can join the class. We are willing to help, so we can discuss those things behind the scenes in person. Thank you.
All right, thank you, CEO. Let me say a word about the professional route. As I indicated, this is a pilot. This is something that is being piloted. So for those of us who don't have the various professional qualifications, the designated professional certifications who are not coming through designated professional certification routes, by that I mean the accounting or the CISA route. If you are coming through the professional route, I would encourage you to make sure you are familiar with the full content of the CIA, the 3-part content. I'm not saying write the 3-part exams, but I would encourage you to be familiar with the 3-part content, everything. In fact, for those coming through the professional routes, it's good to have an idea of what the 3-part content cover. Even if your study material is customized in line with your professional qualification. Like for the accountants, your study material is light on the accounting part, the accounting material, but it's assumed that you already know it. For those coming through the CISA route, your study material is quite light on the IT content. Yet, you are expected to be knowledgeable enough to answer questions that relate to those. So in a similar vein, for those coming through the professional route, I would say try and be familiar with all the three-part content. But I can foresee that for you, a lot of the testing would be based on your proof of experience, field work experience, or experience on the field. So it might be important that you can demonstrate sufficient proficiency as far as the work experience is concerned. I see a comment to the effect that do organizations and companies in Ghana recognize the CIA certificate when recruiting internal auditors, and how IIA, how is the Institute of Internal Auditors Ghana promoting this? This is coming from Bismarck Apia. Do the organizations recognize? Let me just use the agency as an example. The IIA was the technical review professional body together with the ICAG. We provided a technical review for the risk-based internal audit manual for the public sector internal audit practice. We were the technical reviewers for that manual. And in that manual, if you look at it, the qualifications that are required for you to be head of audit include the CIA. And for the purposes of others who may not be aware, as part of the global internal audit standards require that for quality assessments, all external quality assessments, at least one member of the team should be a CIA. And failure to do quality assessment is non-compliance with the global internal audit standards. What it means is that for any organization to say it is doing its work in conformance with the global internal audit standards, you should demonstrate that you've been doing you've had external quality assessment done on you at least once in 5 years. So it means going forward, this will become a yardstick for assessing the conformance with the global internal audit standards. And that means that the need for external quality assessment reviews would increase. And we will need chief audit executives to help us do this. Certified internal auditors to help us do that. Yeah. So if you do not certify, it means we'll just have very few people having to do this for Ghana to say that we've been doing our internal audits professionally. So don't look at it as only in whether organizations are demanding it. The standards themselves demand that for you to claim conformance, you should have been having people who are CIAs leading external quality assessments. And we cannot allow other people from other countries to come and do that in Ghana and charge us and go away. So yes, organizations are recognizing it. And I'm saying that even the Internal Audit Agency, that is the regulator for public sector internal audit, is recognizing it in its manual.
Yes, I'm in a class.
So that is my answer to that question. And I see others, please, why the strict 2 years? Why the strict 2 years timelines for the certification? 2 years for which of the certifications? If it is a challenge exam, it's not even 2 years. It's just your access right to the study material from Becca that is available up to 2 years. And yes, 2 years because you cannot be given perpetual access. You can't be given perpetual access. And also part of it is also that the materials actually is going to be reviewed. For those of you who are following developments, we are soliciting feedback on the global internal audit standards so far after 1 year of implementation. What it means is that very soon there might be there might be some positions on some of the provisions of the standards that may be revised. And you need to keep your content alive. For instance, the quality, the requirements, topical requirements that are being released, they are going to be reflected as and when every topical requirement is released. Those will be reflected on the study material or the study guides, and then the study content that is provided, so that they stay relevant. And all of that would then mean that you cannot be using outdated material as your references. I see some other comments that are there. Let me just see them and see what they are about. Come on. Okay. These are, so there are some materials that are being posted by the Institute. Sally is posting them. You can download them if you have further. Yes, Emmanuel.
Yeah, I asked the 3 years timeline because I'm told that when you write in part 1, part 2, and the 3 years last, you have to start again.
Please, can you all hear Emmanuel clearly? I'm struggling to hear
No,
him.
it's not clear at all.
Okay, hold on for me. I'm told that if the 2 year time elapsed and you are not done with the certification, it means you have to rewrite the whole thing again.
It's 3 years, not 2.
Okay, so it's 3 years.
A 3-year cycle.
Okay.
Joe, did you get what he's asking?
Which one is he asking about?
The 3-year cycle for the 3-part exam. From
the
the date
3-part
you
exam.
for the date of application, you have a 3-year cycle within which you must complete all 3 and get certified. If you do not, then at the end of the 3 year, you lose what you have earned and you start again.
So you will lose assuming you had part 2, you will lose part 2. But if you were to have applied for the IAP and have kept it active, your part 1 will still be valid, because the part 1 is when you get IAP is perpetual.
Yeah.
So if you maintain it, maintaining it means that meet all the CPE requirements, do your declarations, that one will stay valid. So if you were to continue, you would get another, if it is study material validity, you will get it valid. But your part 1 will be active and you continue with part 2 through to 3. Parts 2 through to 3.
Okay. Understood.
Okay. Right.
Hello. Hello. Am I heard?
Yeah, please go on.
Okay. I'm interested in the CISA challenge exams. I want to know if the institute organizes classes on the challenge exam for CISA holders and the cost of the study material.
So what I would say is that the CIA challenge exams that we organize, if you look at the content that relates to, when I say relates, if you were to take parts 1 and 2, the content is the same across. It's almost the same across for the challenge. Where you have vast difference coming in is in the part 3 content. So what we have done in the past for some that came through CISA, we had the same sessions covering the content from parts 1 through to 2. Then the part 3, we looked at the specific, because you would have had your study material, we look at what it is that is in your study material, and we help you with how to approach questions related to that content that it relates to your qualification. Because yours will be lighter on the IT, but very heavy on accounts and others. So we went through that to see and then to help the candidate answer questions that relate to that, because we have access to all the content from the parts 1 through to 3. So that's how we support it.
And what about the study materials? If maybe I'm interested in getting the study materials for the CISA challenge exam so that I can start studying.
Yes, we would work with Becca. We would work with Becca for you to get that which is related to your area, your qualification, your route to challenge exam.
Yeah, if we can know the cost so that we can plan ahead, maybe I can come over today. myself.
Okay.
So that I can
So Secretariat, kindly take note. Let's do a follow-up on this and make sure that we have all the support that we can for Free Heart. Emma, is it the old hen or this a new one? Okay, Divine, please.
Yes, my question is, first of all, thank you very much for this insightful presentation. I was at a Singapore conference. It was a beautiful thing to be there. My question here is, you've been organizing this program for uh, our colleagues in Ghana here, and through your tutorials and all those places. How far has it been in terms of performance? Those who go through your teaching or tutorials.
So I must say that I was pleased to see quite a number of CIAs coming up now through the through the challenge route. I think the challenge has been very beneficial to colleagues in Ghana who were desirous of writing the CIA. The route, I'm not saying that going by the paths is not good. In fact, I would, if you ask me, there are two advices I would give. That look, if you had time to study and you are very you are very sure of yourself, go through the CIA challenge because it cuts down the time. But if you've not had the time to study, then my advice would be go through the path route. So that at least you take a path which is less, commit your little time that you can afford to it and make sure you cover it properly and write your exam and move to the next part. Particularly in the case of now that you have IAP, when you get your part one, apply for your IAP, but just make sure that you study again and write your part two. Continue through to part three. Part of it has got to do with how much time candidates have applied. And we've had people who have taken the revision classes who tell us that they've been so busy that they are out, they've not been able to do this. Thankfully, I also seen some who have said, look, despite those, they've passed the CIA. I told them, go for it again. You do the receipt. They've done the receipt, they're able to get it. There are two factors to it. One is what guide you get, the other is how much time you commit to it. People who are preparing for exams, 1 week to the exam, they are organizing a national event. And they're not having time to prepare for the exam. So it's not so much only about what guide you get from the classes. It's also about how much effort you apply to even understanding the material before we even talk about applying it. So we've had a lot of success. We've had good successes. I've not done Secretary. I don't know whether you can help us with how many candidates got the CIA last year. But it was a joy when on the platform they would come and announce that, oh, I took the exam, I have passed. Maybe the other thing I need to add is that unlike the previous times where you would just write the exam and then you get your results, now when you write, you would have to wait. Is it 3 weeks, Madam Anas?
Yes, 3 weeks.
You have to wait 3 weeks to get your results. And that for me is a bit
Even though
worrisome.
officially it's 3 weeks, I think between May and now, some got it within the first week.
So those days they could just write the
officially
exam.
3 weeks.
Yeah, they could write the exams and come out and say, oh, I passed. Then we all join them to celebrate. Now you have to wait. They say we should give them up to 3 weeks for you to get your results. But I am saying I'm happy that since the CIA, we've had an increase in number of the challenge exam, we've had an increase in the number of CIAs.
A good number
than we used to have when we're doing just only the parts.
Yeah.
Thank you. CEO, it's now 12:13.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, thank you. I think yes.
Before you close,
yes.
give
So
me
Joseph,
make some
please
comments.
take over this. I am actually not available now, if you don't mind. You can just let's round up. I think we've done a good job, and then we just need people to just reach out to us on our lines to get the registry for the course. I mean the online classes.
So, Madam Anas, you were saying that before we
Yeah,
close.
just 3 quick comments. The first comment is for us candidates, depending on the time available to you, especially now that the material is not added to the registration, you can buy your material early and start studying ahead of your registration. And I want to say that some were able to get their materials at the beginning of the year. And I want to say that I gave a lot of candidates hope. They started studying ahead of the April window, so that when the window opens, you still have enough time, even if you want to write in September or November. So now you can get your material early ahead of your application and registration. And then number 2, when we were doing the discussion earlier, we indicated that payment, you have to do your payment per your card. But I also remember that last year, I had to make payment for 2 candidates because their accounts were with the rural bank and they couldn't use their card. So where it becomes critical, please let us know and see if we can assist with the payment. But it only means that you have to make your money available and then we assist you to make the payment. Then the third one, for those who already have the hook, I think you have the same content with study material. Thank you, Joe.
All right. So there are a few things that I've seen here that need some clarification, or I may have to just respond to. So, please, is there a WhatsApp platform for members with good standing? I don't quite understand. But if by this, Joyce, if by this you mean, is there a WhatsApp platform for members who will be attending classes and in preparation to write the exam? That would have to be created when they have registered.
Yeah.
If you're talking about members in good standing, if you're talking about IIA members in good standing, or it being in good standing depends on which professional body we're talking about. And that one I can't answer to. But if it's about classes, once we get candidates who will be studying to write the exams, we'll put up there should be a WhatsApp platform for them. Emmanuel, so can you update us if you, the host, and the executives, all CI members, or I, please, I don't quite understand this. But if you're asking whether the speakers are CIAs, yes, we are CIAs. Hamisu Adam, please, can one use only the global internal audit standards to write the challenge exams? Unfortunately, no. I'm sorry,
no.
No. No. You will fail,
no.
You will fail, Poto. Can I write the exams if at the time of exam I'm out of the country, meaning I can write exam outside Ghana? You would have to find out which country you are going to, whether they have a person view exam center there, and then make sure that that is where you choose as your preferred exam center, and be sure to be there at the time that you have chosen to write the exam, please. That's Sani Sukamara. Kindly take note of that. You can register, but then make sure that you choose the country you are going to as where you'll be writing the exams, and be sure that they have an exam center there. How much is the study material, please? Can you repeat it? Unfortunately, I don't have that very handy at the moment. But Emmanuel Ose, your question will be addressed. Sally, take note. Let's include all of this. That is the cost in the final communication that goes to all those that have registered for this clinic. There was an earlier question as to whether the recording will be available. I will leave that answer to Secretariat to determine. Colleagues, we had scheduled to close at 12 o'clock. It is 12:19. I will take the opportunity to thank you for staying around. I know it's very difficult for all of us. What are examination months? If you're talking about challenge exam, is September, November, and February. This is to Maxwell. Any further questions, we can't address them. I'm just thanking all of you for your time here with us. We are most grateful. The Secretariat is doing all it can to support all members or all potential exam candidates in Ghana, whether they are members or not, to write the exams. As I said, we need the CIAs because we need them to help us do the work that the Institute needs to do. We also need them in order to deepen professionalism in the practices in Ghana. And we think that the more of it we all do, we would all be contributing to the national growth. On the part of us who are offering ourselves to facilitate, we'll do our best. But for those of you who will be signing up to write the exam, we are requesting you to commit yourselves to it within the months that you have available. Wisdom, please put a comment, whatever it is, put it in the comment. We will address it after this because we'll see the comment. We can no longer speak to all of them, please. So the point we're making is that we are grateful to have you. We are available to support as much as we can. And where it is beyond us, we will seek the responses or the needed solutions to address your needs. Thanks to all of you for your time. We would have to release others so that they can go and attend to other commitments. We are most grateful. Madam Anas, your final words before we break off.
I can only say thank you to all of them. And we are hoping that they will register and participate in the class so that we all move towards success. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much. Yeah, I've seen your questions regarding exams, months, and all of that. We would answer them in our final communication. So, Sauda, you guys should download the chat so that we can use them to guide what final responses to send out. Thank you. All right, colleagues, have a very good weekend.
Oh, no closing prayer.
Oh, Madam Anas, you've raised it, so pray for us before we go.
Okay, so Father, we thank you for this session. We ask for your understanding. And we ask that, Lord, you grant us the grace to be able to register and write this exam to enhance our career and give glory unto you. Thank you for the facilitators. Thank you for the secretariat. Thank you, Jesus, for answered prayer. Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
All right, so enjoy the rest of the day. God bless you.
God bless you too.
Bless you.
Oh, God. I cannot do it. There's nothing I can do now.